Yeah, one, two. Hello, Julian. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Let me know if it's too hot or not hot enough or just right, just like the porridge. 1, 2. 1, 2, 3, 4. 5. I don't know why. I can bump it up on my end if you want. Yep. Testing 1, 2, 1, 1, 2, 3, 4. Sorry, it was on mute. 1, 2, 3, 4.
All right, just.
What? 1, 2, 1. Oh.
Yeah, just be quiet for a second. Then again.
1, 2, 1, 2.
It's all right with me. I'll ask the MCR. I can hear it. I can hear there's something there.
Can you?
But it's all right with me. But I'll ask them to in the MCR.
Okay, we may even be able to hear it on here.
Yeah, but I'll just. If it's not hit, then have a listen if you want. It's not that.
Yeah.
Hopefully they'll give a thumbs up and then we're ready to go. Here we are. Right, I'm just going to do an audio test. Oh, I haven't done.
Did I just hear someone coming up those steps? That's not it. It's just...
Okay, Matt, hope you're there, mate. Sound test coming through now. This is the ambient mic and this is the commentator.
1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4.
And this is silence. Cool, let me know if that's all right. Cheers.
Help us level the playing field. Sign the parliamentary petition today to fuel the growth and fund the game.
Bum, 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 bum. Well, the Georgies will be happy anyway because I'll be able to see their players and tell everybody who they are. Yep. I'll start counting again. This time I'm going to start from 5. 5, 6, 7, 8. 5, 6, 7, 8, just for something different. 5, 6, 7, 8.
This is the ambient mic. 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. Ambient, ambient.
Okay. football arrives at the City Vista tonight, where two sides meet with one shared ambition to keep their cup journey alive. The Caroline Springs George Cross, the 2026 campaign, is only just beginning, really. A commanding 6-0 victory over local rival Sydenham Park on the weekend has lifted belief around the club, and tonight they welcome VPLW side Ringwood City from the opposite side of Melbourne. Ringwood City struggling in the league, but cup football rarely follows the league form lines. And so round 4 of the Nike FC Cup, Caroline Springs George Cross and Ringwood City, and room for only one in the 5th round. Brent Stanberg. Springs George Cross from the State League 1 Northwest, and Ringwood City from the opposite side of Melbourne, a team currently in the Victorian Premier League Women's. Round 4 of the Nike FC Cup, room for only one in the round of 16. Brent Sternberg is my name. Thank you for your company on the NPL Victoria YouTube channel. Here's how the two sides line up then, after a little bit of conjecture with the playing kits. And George Cross, I can tell you, I'll introduce these players to you in numerical order. Number 1 is the goalkeeper Paige Daly. Number 3, Catherine Sikic. Number 4, Ariane McLeod. Number 5, Katrina Salakidis. Number 6 is Christelle Grandferry. Number 7, Manami Yamasaki. Number 8 is the captain, Olivia Barale. Number 13, Cindy Lay. Number 14, Mayo Kiritoshi. Number 15, Manaho Ogawa. And number 19, the one to watch for the Georgies tonight, Kisa Mori, who has scored 11 goals already this season for George Cross. And the away side, who after a late wardrobe change, they'll be in the blue kits this evening. Ringwood City, number 1 is their goalkeeper Taylor Murphy. Number 2 is Stephanie Kelly. Number 3, Isabella Fernandez. Number 6, Melanie Martinez. Number 7, Zoe Diorio. Number 8, Katrina Nickport. Number 9, Elwyn Parbury. Number 12, Izzy Cooper. Number 17, Eliza Johns. Number 23, Daphne Papamichael. And number 27, Serena Hill. Both sides making a few changes from the league meetings, respective league meetings on the weekend. I can tell you as well that our officials out there tonight, we're running with just the 3, and we're on a first name basis with the officials tonight. We've got Babush, who is our central referee. And then on the touchlines, Millet and Yusuf, as I mentioned, first name basis this evening. A beautiful night for football here in the western suburbs. George Cross in the famous red and white stripes, and Ringwood City in the blue shirts and the black shorts and the orange socks. A unique combination. The VPLW side will kick us off to begin proceedings. They will go from left to right. George Cross, obviously, from right to left. So away we go in this cup adventure. 90 minutes to start with, maybe more. We'll wait and see how the evening transpires. The two teams who meet one another for the first time. As I mentioned in the preamble, Caroline Springs George Cross in the State League 1 Northwest, and Ringwood City currently in the mid-table in the Victorian Premier League Women's. Christelle Grandferry concedes possession in midfield. And backwards go Ringwood City. You might expect them to take majority of possession this evening. This is Sarah Bell. Katrina Nickpaw. Good harrying here from George Cross, and a turnover and a foul inside the early moments here, and will set George Cross up with a set piece opportunity from about 20 yards. The George Cross team that rattled 6 goals past their local rival Sydenham Park on Sunday afternoon here at City Vista. Olivia Barale the captain. Looks like she's going to take this one upon herself. Can she give George Cross the dream start? Barale's direct shot bounces awkwardly in front of Taylor Murphy. To no further alarm. The 6-0 winners on the weekend. George Cross. Ringwood City going down 4-1 to Eltham. Here's Katrina Nickport. MVP last season for Ringwood City into the 18-yard box and cleared by Selakides. Martinez and out for Stephanie Kelly. Curling one towards the edge of the 18-yard box. Settling into the game now, early Ringwood City. As I say that, Martinez, cheap turnover in possession. Barale, that was an awkward pass. Selakides chases it in towards the corner. He does well enough to earn a throw in. The goal scorers on the weekend for the Georgies, Kisa Mori, the striker, the number 19 for George Cross with a hat-trick. The other goal scorers, Catherine Sikic, Ella Tadevsky and Laura Sporanovic. Sporanovic starting from the bench tonight for George Cross. Here's Christelle Grenferry. Yamasaki sliding it in. George Cross on the attack. Catherine Sikic unable to conjure any magic there. Oh, awkward moment defensively. Just looking a little bit jaded. Playing at the back at the moment to start this match, I should say, for Ringwood City. Change to their blue shirts, like I mentioned. I think we've got a couple of ghost numbers out there. Not taking any chances defensively. There's Ariane McLeod, who is making her first starting appearance in the Cup. She started match day 1 and 2 in the league. 6th appearance on the season. Long throw in for City. Here's Kisa Mori. One of a handful of Japanese players plying their trade in this George Cross team. Played away to safety by Eliza Johns. The night of nights in the Nike FC Cup this evening. 10 of the 16 round 4 Cup ties are tonight. A whole bunch of them being streamed as well. You'll be able to head over to their Football Victoria YouTube page and take your pick. Of course, round 4, the first round that the top division teams enter. Ball forward, Sikic will chase. It's not going to come into the 18-yard box, so Taylor Murphy has to bang that one to safety. Taylor Murphy, who was the pin-up girl for Ringwood City's social media posts on Sunday, on Mother's Day. Picture with her and her little bubba. Magawa headed by Johns. Elwyn Parbury. Nick Port. Ringwood City trying to play through the George Cross grid. Flick on there by Ringwood City's number 11. I don't have a number 11 on my team sheet here. Give me a few moments and by a process of elimination I'll be able to tell you who that is. This is Parbury. Long ball the width of the pitch. Kelly, good header. Here's Diorio, showing some great speed. Kelly to the edge of the penalty area. George Cross doing well defensively. Look how deep Kisamori is. Kelly can't manufacture anything with the ball forward. Rio again using her pace to cause problems for George Cross. Katrina Nickpool happy to just watch that one trickle out of play. Eliza Johns now for Ringwood City. Dangerous. Pass inboard. Parbury playing it calmly. Cooper on the far side. George Cross back in possession, however. Deflecting. I think this is Daphne Papamichael in the number 11, and then trying to flick it goalward bound was Fernandez. Not able to trouble the goalkeeper. So Daphne Papamichael on our team sheet here, 23, but looks like she's in the number 11 tonight, playing on the left wing for Ringwood City. Serena Hill, the number 27, is parked in the middle of the Ringwood City back four. Beautifully brought down there by Martinez. Well, Maury concedes possession. Diorio. Fernandez bustling around, or might have collected the Georgies player high there. That was Cindy Lay, who copped a flailing arm. Cindy Lay, one of very few players in the George Cross squad that has experience in the top division. Ringwood City have quite a few. Goalkeeper Taylor Murphy, who was at Bentley last season. Isabella Fernandez, who also has previously played for the Greens. Elwyn Parbury, Box Hill United player, and Heidelberg too. No Rebecca Saber tonight, interestingly, for Ringwood City. Not in the starting 11 anyway. She's on the bench. Maybe the most highly credentialed of the Ringwood City players. So Steph Kelly, who's been very busy on the right-hand side here for Ringwood City so far. Letting that one get in behind was Ariane McLeod. Lay. Here is Yamasaki, who was absent from the matchday squad on the weekend. On ball forward doesn't quite find Sikic. Diorio. Martinez plays it off. Barale. Hooked forward again by Agawa. Bouncing ball. It's coming back. Ringwood City this season in the league, 2 wins, 3 draws, 3 losses. 8th in the VPLW. Only wins this season in the league coming against Ballarat City and Manningham United. This is just their second cup match of the campaign. They beat Knox City 3-0 at Eganley Reserve in the previous round. Of course, the Georgies have played 2 cup matches. Played 2 cup matches before their league campaign even began. Obviously, the state league team starting a little later. Cindy Lay's fouled again. They finished 4th in the Victorian Premier League Women's last season, Ringwood City. This is another set piece here for the Georgies. Might sit here for Selakides. Brought it down with the shoulder. Agawa. Lay. Threading it through. Sikic will arrive. No, she won't. The ball just finding its way into the gloves of Taylor Murphy. But a nice pass there in between the defensive gaps in the Ringwood City back four, just giving the VPLW side something to think about. This one's tidied up by Elwyn Parbury. You might have seen that wonderful goal that she scored in that 3-0 victory against Knox City a couple of weeks ago. Beautiful long-range effort to open the scoring, tipping over the goalkeeper and in. Another turnover at Ringwood City. They get bailed out. Johns. McLeod. Maury, who was returning from an offside position. No doubt these two teams will take a little while to just feel one another out. It's the first ever matchup, official matchup between these two sides. George Cross have already beaten Burwood City and North Geelong Warriors in the Cup. Beat Burwood City 14-0. Ball in behind here, an opportunity for Ringwood City. It's turned in from point blank by Katrina Nickpaw. And Ringwood City, looking pretty in blue, have an early lead here at City Vista. Really, the first genuine look at goal from either side. And Katrina Nickpaw, the reigning Ringwood City MVP, gives the VPLW side the lead on 13 minutes. Fifth goal of the season for Katrina Nickpaw. She scored also one of those 3 goals against Knox a couple of weeks ago. So second goal in the Cup competition. And what is the response here for George Cross? Have to come out of their shell now, of course. It's been a very even first 13 minutes or so. One ball in behind. A cut back from Daphne Papamichael, and Katrina Nickpaw couldn't miss from 3 yards. It's her 3rd season at Ringwood City, Katrina Nickpaw. She joined from Bulleen halfway through the 2024 season. It's one of those few players for Ringwood who have experience in the top flight, 97 NPLW appearances. Legala, that's a poor pass. Parbury and Diorio not on the same page. And Parbury tries to do it all herself. Parbury's cross, would-be cross, takes a deflection. And Ringwood City are starting to come to the party. They will take the first corner kick of the night. And these are trying moments, early days here for George Cross. A long way back into the match if they were to surrender a second goal. Looks like this corner will be taken short. Parbury and Nickpaw playing the 2-player game. Nickpaw slices it right across the 6-yard box. Too tall for Eliza Johns. And that attacking opportunity amounts to not much. Oh, Ariane McLeod playing with fire. Eventually draws the foul. George Cross, 2 wins and 1 loss so far in the league. Currently sitting 4th in the State League 1 Northwest, but still only desperately early. Parbury. Out for Izzy Cooper. Papamichael. Martinez. Parbury, lovely first touch player. Kelly. Growing in confidence, Ringwood City. Nick Paul, did she use her hand to bring that one down? Well, she was in an offside position in any case. In the league, the Georgies, they lost to St Albans 2-1 on match day 1 before back-to-back wins against Uni Hill and the weekend's victories against Sydenham Park. Serena Hill wins the throw-in. Just her third appearance of the season, Serena Hill. It's her first start. That's Izzy Fernandez coming over to have a chat with Ringwood City manager Morgan Groves. Foul going the way of George Cross on the far side. Fernandez has now taken a seat. That might have been the instruction from the manager. If you don't think you can go on, just sit down and wait until the referee spots you. As of such time, I should say, he hasn't spotted her. Now he has. Looked like she may have had an issue with her hand, finger. And so on come the Ringwood City medical crew. Izzy Fernandez, a 32-year-old, 10th appearance of the season now, 9th start. She was the one that scored that other goal in that win over Knox City in the Cup a couple of weeks ago. They've only played one game since then, Ringwood City. That was the match-up with Eltham on the weekend. They did have their league match with Brunswick Juventus 2 weeks ago kicked down the road. That's the next match that they will play. That will be on Monday night. Just having a look at Isabella Fernandez, who is currently seated in the middle of the pitch. We've got 4 players on the bench to choose from tonight. Ringwood City, no goalkeeper. Chiara Lettieri, Sarah Bell, Rebecca Saber and Sophia Apostolopoulos. She doesn't look too concerned, Fernandez. I wonder if she's maybe just had a nail malfunction. Or split webbing, perhaps. Doesn't look to be blood, though. Going to have it taped up. And for the moment, Ringwood City will play with 10 players. Currently leading 1-0. Katrina Nickpaw giving the away side the lead in the 13th minute. Up until that goal, a pretty even contest. Ringwood City starting to get the better of the possession. Barale. Selakidis. Challenged by Diorio. She goes beyond the Ringwood City winger. Selakidis. Running out of room. Happy to let that one go out of play and take the throw in. Kisamori, who's been quiet through the first 20 minutes. That ball's going to stay in, find its way all the way back to Ariane McLeod. Kiritoshi. Barale. Granferry. Yamasaki doesn't hit it first time. Takes a touch to get past Cooper. Disappointing cross into the penalty area. Couldn't get past Martinez. A long-range effort. The deflection. Kisamori charges out after it across the face of goal and then turned over the bar critically by Eliza Johns. And the first real bright spark for the Georgies, and they will take a corner kick. Well done there by Eliza Johns. That was not easy, facing her own net. Was able to get the elevation on it to get it up and over the crossbar. Very easily could have been an own goal. Right-footed in-swinger in towards the mixer. Again, it's Eliza Johns with the defensive header, glancing one at that. And Olivia Barale will now make the pilgrimage from near side to far. That means this will be a right-footed out-swinging corner kick. Corner kick, I should say. George Cross looking for the equalising goal. Barale once again gets good elevation in towards the near post, glancing header. Oh, the referee has shut it down. Saw a foul in there, and Ringwood City look to open up the play quickly. They survived that little barrage there from George Cross. Diorio just missed Fernandez. George Cross goalkeeper Paige Daly, who had a rest and stayed on the bench on the weekend, and back between the sticks tonight. McLeod's header, Nick Paul couldn't bring it down. Kisamori, Sikic, Granferian, Barale, and eventually Ringwood City retake possession through Parbury, who've been pulling the strings in midfield so far tonight. I mentioned that she was former Box Hill United and Heidelberg United player. She was a part of that Box Hill side that went on and won the championship in the top division last season. Come off the bench in the grand final. Martinez leaves that one for Cooper. Papa Michael. Cooper closed in. And, well, she was expecting to have that throw-in go her way. Instead, the possession arrow is with George Cross. Having trouble stringing a couple of passes to get here at the moment, the Georgies. Not so Ringwood City and not so Elwyn Parbury. Kelly, often racing down the right-hand side. Diorio, big coming together there between her and McLeod. Both players go tumbling into the fence. Some of the other matchups that we have for you this evening in the Nike FC Cup. As I mentioned, it's round 4. This is the round that the top division teams enter play. And maybe the marquee matchup tonight is, speaking of Box Hill, Pythagoras taking on Burundurra. That match kicked off about half an hour before us at Wembley Park. Ringwood City construct the play down the left-hand channel. Papa Michael tried to dance their way through a couple of defenders. Altona City are at home to Keilor Park. Bundoora United taking on Alamein. No foul there for the Ringwood City player. That was Fernandez. Trying to hit on the break here, the Georgies. They don't have a hell of a lot of numbers up ahead of the play, but they're able to maintain possession. Stepping in and winning it back is Diorio. Oh, well done, Nick. Poor dances right around Barale. She likes to shoot from distance. Wasn't able to fire at either side of the goalkeeper, instead straight at Paige Daly. Bundoora United at home against Alamein. Preston taking on Manningham United. The defending Cup champions are in action tonight for the first time, South Melbourne. That match kicking off same time as us here, 7:30. That's at Lakeside against Melbourne University. That will be a really tough one for the Melbourne Uni side, currently on the foot of the table in the VPLW. Serena Hill's header. Oh, Kingsamori. Barale. Serena Hill's header. That one a little bit better. That one found a teammate, Fernandez. And Papa Michael. Fernandez continues the run. The patched up Isabella Fernandez. Across the 6-yard box. And defensively dealt with there by Manaho Agawa. They look very dangerous, Ringwood City, when they can get their speedy wingers into space and able to get a clean cross into the penalty area. If you joined us late, it's Ringwood City 1, Caroline Springs George Cross 0. Look at this play from Papa Michael. Charging her way through the George Cross wall. And Nick Poor, side-footed shot. It had Paige Daly concerned. Just curling away and tipping past the far post. Caroline Springs, George Cross 0, Ringwood City 1. A goal in the 13th minute to Katrina Nickpaw. Got a match down in Ballarat this evening. Ballarat City Girls taking on Eltham Redbacks. That's the team that beat Ringwood City on the weekend. Two teams in the VPLW. Redbacks going a lot better than the Ballarat City Girls are. Sliding challenge there. Magawa. Del Rio wins the day. Oh, will that be a foul on Cindy Lay? Yes. Fernandez just a little bit too forceful. FC Blean Lions at the Veneto Club against Bayside Argonauts. And a match not too far from here as well. Spring Hills, who also play in Caroline Springs. And they welcome the girls from Geelong Galaxy United. And the last match to kick off tonight at 8:30, FC Clifton Hill and Kings Domain. Clifton Hill currently on top of the table in the VPLW. A newly promoted side up from the State League 1. And sweeping all before them in the second division. Lades trying to roll that one off to Agawa. Parbury bending it in behind. It's a great ball. Paige Daly retreating. Nick Paul so skillful. Parbury. Patient. They stay off Elwyn Parbury for the moment to the byline. Parbury just losing her footing as she was winding up to send the ball into the penalty area. So just over half an hour gone at the City Vista here in Fraser Rise. Great work there from Parbury from behind. The challenge, Cindy Lay. The young lady with the East Timor heritage. Second season at George Cross. She came over from Brunswick Juventus, was playing for Juve when they were in the top division a couple of seasons ago. Melanie Martinez not happy with that errant pass. Barale, McLeod. Can't find her defensive teammate, and it's picked up by Papa Michael, who slides it in behind for Fernandez. The goalkeeper comes. And Paige Daly is able to collect without fouling the on-rushing Ringwood City winger. Played it pretty well in the end. Here is Fernandez. She ends up on the floor. Now, we should be able to pick the ball up here, Paige Daly. That looked like a back pass. Raleigh and Nick Poor. Good harrying there by the goal scorer. The only goal scorer to tell you about so far here at City Vista. George Cross did have a great opportunity of their own about 7 minutes after conceding. Goal line clearance from Ringwood City centre-back Eliza Johns, preserving the 1-goal lead for the visitors. Referee just not interested in any animosity or funny buggers tonight. Martinez beats Lay to the punch. Serena Hill, Eliza Johns. Oh, Parbury's first touch to get herself away from the nearest opposing player was terrific. And now Nick Kapoor again finds herself beyond the defensive grid of George Cross. She knew that took a touch off the defender, so she's happy for it to just roll behind, and Ringwood City will set up from another corner kick. Which they will take quickly and shortly. Parbury. That was Martinez, I think, at the back post. Eliza Johns stretching. Just needed to be about 2.5 feet taller. She's a rock-solid player at the back. Eliza Johns has started every game now this season for Ringwood City in both competitions. Club Person of the Year last season, long-time player at Monbulk Soccer Club. Selakidis, Mori. Tagawa just blasted down the pitch, trying to take some territory. McLeod and Brale. Oh, her first touch really needed to be better than that, and they're in trouble here, the Georgies. Papa Michael rolling forward. And that's come off the defender. And Fernandez was offside. And the Georgies are spared. It was a sprightly first 10 minutes or so from George Cross. Since conceding that goal, the confidence may be just dipping ever so slightly. Ringwood City, no doubt they would have come here tonight as the favourites. Naturally, when you have a team in the second division playing a team from the state leagues. Sikic is brought down, looking forlorn on the turf. Now, referee in the middle this evening, Babush says, hop up, please. Catherine Sikic is slow to get up. Peels herself up off the turf here at City Vista. And now the officials coming over to just make sure that Catherine Sikic is all good to continue. And Catherine Sikic doesn't really care about telling the referee what's wrong, just inquiring about why it wasn't a foul. Catherine Sikic, who was playing at Bundoora United last season, a Bundoora United team that made it to the semi-finals of the Cup last season, and prior to that spent a few seasons at Avondale. Kiritoshi. Grand Ferry's pass deflected. Ringwood City back in possession and looking to motor forward. They're looking to recruit the run and the speed. Fernandez, who rides the challenge. And last-ditch defending. In fact, that ball might have stayed in. Cleared by Ariane McLeod. They certainly look like a team, Ringwood City, that have the more dynamic players going forward, certainly out wide. Oh, nice turn there by Diorio. McLeod's touch, trying to bide some time. Salakides does well. And the flag is up. No foul on the George Cross player. That was Christelle Granferry. Nick Paw again shooting from distance. Off the crossbar. The Oreo is onside and turns her shot wide. Well, she was offside in any case. And Katrina Nick Paw inches away from doubling her tally and doubling Ringwood City's lead. And we may need the assistance of the George Cross medical crew here, maybe. Christelle Granferry's trying to shake off that contact that she wore in the lead up to that goal scoring opportunity for Ringwood City. Oh, so close. They continue to try and play out from the back. They're making a little bit of a mess of it. All of that for a throw in. Another George Cross player staying down. And this time we will need to seek some assistance from our medical crew for the home side. Sticking with their game plan, George Cross, of trying to maintain possession and pass the ball from out of the back third and up the pitch and try and create something going forward. Brought themselves into quite a lot of grief on a few occasions already. Just having a look at this George Cross player who has been fouled. Manaho Agawa, I think this is who is being checked out by the club doctors. Told you about the players on the bench for Ringwood City. George Cross have the full allotment of players, including a reserve goalkeeper, Laura Sporanovic, Emily Tanaka, Ella Flukabaka, who started on the weekend, Madison Horvat, who also started, Tiana Bautista, and the reserve goalkeeper is Sarah Burale. Cindy Lay it was, in fact, who was hurt in that little collision there, but looks like she's okay to continue as we head towards the final few minutes of this first half. Ringwood City would love to take a 2-goal cushion into the break. Kelly, first time cross, skews away and won't trouble the George Cross defence any further. It's only a 1-goal lead, but they feel rather comfortable at the moment. Ringwood City had most of the possession. Most of the entries into the opposition's 18-yard box. Goal from Katrina Nickpaw in the 13th minute, and then only 2 or 3 minutes ago she rattled the crossbar A long-range effort. George Cross with only one real shout up their end. Yamasaki, Grand Ferry. Now Sikic on the turn. McLeod encouraged to roll forward. Again, closed down quickly by the Oreo. In the league last season, George Cross, they were the type of team that left it late. They scored most of their goals in the second half of matches. And they weren't a team that got off to fast starts. They only scored 6 goals in the first 15 minutes of matches. That's in 18 league games. There's a deflating turnover on possession. They may look potentially, George Cross women, to just hold on until half-time. They will have some very capable players to inject into the match in the second half. But they don't want to be coming from 2 goals down. Oh, Papa Michael, a little slip. Lay back in the fray. Receiving it back from Yamasaki. And Kisamori caught on her heels. Ringwood City back in possession. Nick Poor, I should say. Gives it straight back. Silikidis. First time ball can't find Kisamori, and then it's played out of touch by Ringwood City. Well, they're just having a look around. I'm not entirely sure what her plan was there. Perhaps not on the same page as the George Cross striker. Taylor Murphy's clearance. I reckon that's Elwyn Barbury's first error of the match. Agawa. Back for Daly. Agawa. Ringwood City sweating on every George Cross pass. McLeod. That's a better pass. Grand Ferry. Just a little bit overhit for Catherine Sikic, who is maybe still feeling the effects from that little collision earlier. Just checking the signal from our referee in the middle, Barbush. I think he held up just 1 minute, because we don't have a fourth official this evening, so at the complete discretion of the official in the middle. Be surprised if we only had 1 minute tacked on. We have had a few stoppages, obviously the one goal, and then a few stoppages for injuries. Stephanie Kelly for Ringwood City. The Oreo not quite going to reach it. Daly does. And that will be half-time at City Vista here in Fraser Rise. The cup match between second and third division teams. Rather even for the first 10 or so minutes before a beautifully worked Ringwood City goal. An assist from Daphne Papamichael, and a close range effort tucked in by Katrina Nickpaw has Ringwood City in front. They have looked the better team and the more comfortable team in possession since going in front. George Cross will reassess at the intermission and plot their way back into the match, despite the fact that Ringwood City have had majority of the play in their attacking half and majority of the possession. It is at the main break the narrowest of margins. Brent Sternberg is my name. You're watching the Nike FC Cup on the Football Victoria YouTube channel. Round 4 action, half-time here at City Vista. It is Caroline Springs, George Cross 0, Ringwood City 1. Welcome back to the City Vista in Fraser Eyes, everybody, out here in Caroline Springs. Round 4 at the Nike FC Cup. And we are ready for the second half here. Brent Sternberg is my name. Ringwood City currently sitting on a 1-0 lead. They have made a change at half-time. Both teams have, in fact. Sarah Bell has replaced Isabella Fernandez, who was dealing with some sort of a hand issue in that first half. The Georgies have brought on Laura Sporanovic, the striker. And I'm just trying to gaze across the pitch and have a look at who has been withdrawn from the match, as the second half is going to start how the first did, with an early set piece here for George Cross. In the early seconds of the second 45. The goal scorer for Ringwood City is Katrina Nickpaw, who also come within inches of doubling the lead when a long-range effort rattled the crossbar. The first half that, well, it was willing, but not a lot of goal-mouth action. One shot for George Cross in total, 3 for Ringwood City. Can they find this equaliser in the early minutes, in the early seconds of this half? It floats in towards the back post, and Gisamori has to watch that one disappear. And a disappointing end to that little thrust. Ringwood City this time playing out from the back. And playing themselves into a spot of bother. As I mentioned, they have got goals in them. George Cross, they scored 6 on the weekend. They scored 14 in their first game of the season, in their first cup match. Okay, it looks like the number 3, Catherine Sikic, is the one who has been withdrawn for Laura Sporanovic. So it appears as though they've just made a like-for-like change up top, the Georgies. Bang forward by Agawa. So one shot in the first half for George Cross, 3 for Ringwood City, 1 shot on target apiece. George Cross's best opportunity came when Eliza Johns had a goal line clearance. It's been a sprightly start by the Georgies. Grenferry. This is Cindy Lay. It's out by her teammate on the edge of the 18-yard box. Cindy Lay's shot blocked and deflected, and the follow-up. What a goal! Cindy Lay from outside the 18-yard box. And George Cross come out of the half-time team talk breathing fire, and we are back level in this Nike FC Cup tie at the City Vista. Beautiful build-up play. The back heel from Laura Sporanovic. Cindy Lay's shot took a deflection, and Taylor Murphy clawing and clutching at thin air as it disappears into the top right-hand corner. Okay. Caroline Springs, George Cross 1, Ringwood City 1. And they have looked a different team in these first couple of minutes to start the second 45. Cindy Lay, by the way, the third goal of her campaign. She's now scored in all 3 cup matches for George Cross this season. It looks like Cindy Lay has well and truly recovered from the problem late in that first half. Sporanovic to the byline, deflects off Eliza Johns, still alive. What an impact Sporanovic has had already with an assist It's taking two blue shirts just to hem her into the corner. Has she won a corner? No. Laura Sporanovic, of course, a long-time Melbourne Victory player. Brother Socceroo, famous football name from Melbourne. And they're a lot keener in this second half. George Cross to get after the Ringwood City ball carrier. Maybe the instructions from their manager, Davide Galtieri, at half-time. Let's try and put Ringwood City under a little bit more pressure when they are in possession. And this cup tie now, beautifully poised. It's Olivia Barale all the way back to the goalkeeper. Agawa, Gisamori towards the 18-yard box. Greenferry chases, but Taylor Murphy was best placed. Christelle Grandferry, a 25-year-old lady from France, has come over to Australia to play her football this season. Was playing last year at the Stade Olympique de Châtellerault. Agawa. And Isabella Fernandez, who looks like she's still out there, so I need to work out who Sarah Bell has replaced. Sure, I heard the officials saying 5 for 3. Michael. Oh, gets past the lunging Barale. The audio is not going to be able to chase that one. In the Cup last year, the Georgies, they lost to Heidelberg United in round 5. Heidelberg, of course, went on to lose in the final, that thrilling final, to South Melbourne. And that campaign, they had beaten Sandringham, Altona East and Knox City before losing to Heidelberg in the 5th round. Lofted forward by Cindy Lay. Sporanovic is onside and takes the ball right away from Sarah Bell. Sporanovic just needed a little bit more help. She has completely changed the dynamic in the front third for George Cross. And she's on the end of this loose pass. Sporanovic snatches at it and pushes it across the goal mouth. Ringwood City, meantime, last season, they lost in the 4th round last year to Spring Hills after defeating Chelsea in round 3. We are back with live pictures from City Vista. Just a couple of technical issues here. Apologies about that, folks. Caroline Springs, George Cross 1. Ringwood City 1. Georgie's in possession. And cries from the George Cross folks wanting a foul. They get the foul. It's actually Ringwood City who are a bit disappointed with that call. They thought that was all fair. It's Cindy Lay, I think that is again, who's been caught in the crossfire. Haven't had a yellow card brandished in this match. Our official Marbush is having a chat with Martinez, I think, of Ringwood City, who jogs away. Maybe just thinking to herself, a bit lucky I'm not on a yellow card. But another set piece here for George Cross. Kisamori is on the penalty spot. Sporanovic too. Well claimed by Taylor Murphy. Olivia Barale's delivery may be a little bit, well, certainly a little bit too close to the goalkeeper. Just over an hour played here at City Vista. Ringwood City, who dominated majority of the first half, conceding a goal early in the second. And we are back where we started. George Cross, much more competitive. First 16 or so minutes here in the second half. It's not to say that they were uncompetitive in the first 45, but Ringwood City certainly had the majority of the possession and looked comfortable in possession indeed. Ogawa, Yamasaki, one-touch play now for the Georgies. Once again, Kisamori just not quite expecting that pass to loft in over the top. I think she wanted it played at her feet. Bell taking on Yamasaki. Lay's gone down again, and here is our first yellow card of the match. And is that Melanie Martinez, who avoided going into the book only 60 seconds ago, and now she's there. Our first player with a colour-coded warning this evening. Cindy Lay has had the crosshairs on her this evening. Melanie Martinez, third season at Ringwood City. She come over from Casey Comets. Ringwood City are going to make another change shortly. It looks like it's Chiara Lettieri who will be injected into the match. Ringwood City will be hoping that at such time the match is still 1-1. McLeod to the edge of the 18-yard box. Cleared by Bell, who wasn't fouled. Martinez onto the loose football. And that one's just going to get away from Fernandez. Yeah, only just. Boy, she is quick. Izzy Fernandez, who's ended up on her face just about in the bench. Are we going to have this substitution? Not just yet. Chiara Lettieri, another former Box Hill United player, 21-year-old. I mean, playing most of her football this year in the reserves for Ringwood City. Scored a couple of goals. Down goes Nick Paw, a foul. And this time Cindy Lay gets one back. Nick Paw's okay, I'm sure. So, on comes Chiara Lettieri. Replacing Zoe Diorio, who was energetic and sprightly in the first half. Fernandez and Yamasaki, running battle, down they go. Which way is this one going? George Cross's way. Minami Yamasaki, who scored for George Cross in the Steph Catley plate final last year. Of course, that's the other thing that the Georgies are trying to defend. The Steph Catley plate. The inaugural competition last year to reward the best performing state league teams in the cup competition. Ringwood City going backwards here for the moment. Beat Manningham United in that final at the home of the Matildas on penalties. Yamasaki scored the first goal in that final after just 11 seconds. They then conceded a penalty. Oh, look out, McLeod. Lettieri closing in. Oh, she fouled her fellow number 4. Yeah, they conceded a penalty, George Cross, in the 87th minute. Manningham United scoring, and that was a match that went straight from the 90 to penalties. There was no extra time. George Cross are going to make another change here. Emily Tanaka, the number 10 for George Cross, will replace Kisa Mori, who, as I mentioned, scored 11 goals so far this season, but won't add any to her tally tonight. Emily Tanaka, who has scored just the one goal so far this season. That was on match day 2 in the league against Uni Hill. She was playing in the NPLW last season for Spring Hills and joined George Cross in the mid-season transfer window last year. Yamasaki. And Grand Ferry is on her way. And that wasn't a well-timed pass. Baranovic not able to muster anything there. Hard to really ascertain which of these two teams is on top right now. Of course, the scoreboard would suggest nobody, but feels like the Georgies, after that early goal in their second half, growing in confidence and mojo. Sarah Bell lofting it down the pitch, or Nick Paw has beaten Kiritoshi, I should say, to the ball. Twisting and turning and into the 18-yard box and across the 6-yard box, and then fired in at the back post by Daphne Papamichael to give Ringwood City the lead again. brilliant in the build-up play there from Katrina Nickpaw, and she was the one who was set up by Papa Michael in the first half. They have reversed their roles here to give Ringwood City the lead again with just over 20 minutes to play here at City Vista. Caroline Springs, George Cross 1, Ringwood City 2. And just when we were saying that George Cross were growing in confidence and felt like they were maybe slightly on top, they are behind again. And it's just the little bit of class that Ringwood City have, being a VPLW team, as opposed to being a side in the State League that aspires to be certainly in the VPLW, and then even in the top division. As it stands currently, Ringwood City would be sailing on into the round of 16, also known as the 5th round of the Cup. Well, they have played well enough in this second half, George Cross, to suggest that they may have a second goal in them. Oh, it's a right royal battle on the far touch line. Good work there by Cooper. Oh, not good work by Cooper. Tanaka's dispossessed her. Cooper does well to recover. Johns and Papa Michael, the goal scorer. Daphne Papa Michael, her first goal of the 2026 campaign. Scored 9 goals in 23 appearances last season for Ringwood City. Fernandez, that familiar running style. Head down and the arms pumping. Earns Ringwood City a corner kick. In fact, my correction, it will be just a goal kick as George Cross looked to go back to the bench. They're going to introduce Madison Horvat. And Horvat is replacing the goal scorer, Cindy Lay. Horvat, who, as I mentioned, was in the starting 11 on the weekend. Georgie's playing here at home on Sunday, Mother's Day, against Sydenham Park. 6-0 victors. Cooper, Papa Michael. Can't repay the favour, deflects off Tanaka. Two goals for Ringwood City tonight, and two very similar worked goals. Build up down the left flank. This time they come down the right. Nick Paw turns her back on goal. Fired from distance. Oh, Melanie Martinez pulling the trigger. Just whizzing past the upright. If they were to find a third goal, Ringwood City, it would be difficult to make a case for George Cross getting back into the match. Tanaka. Agawa. Retreating. Kiritoshi. Probably had more of the possession in this second half, George Cross. That's a nice long ball, and Horvat will get on the end of it. Into the 18-yard box, or not quite. Sporanovic, maybe 19 yards from goal. Barale. And once again, not entirely sure what the plan was there of the George Cross skipper, Sarah Bell. He's happy to see that one exit the field of play. for a goal kick. Had a great record last season, Ringwood City, when leading at half-time. They led 8 times at the break. Went on to win 7 times. Haven't had a lot of matches this season where they have gone into the sheds in front. Been a tough season, really, in the VPLW for Ringwood City, but I'd love to be able to go on a cup run. Sporanovic should be able to win it back here for George Cross. Grand Ferry. Tanaka and now Barale trying to loft it in over the top for Yamasaki. It looks like she might have moved a little bit more central, Yamasaki, after playing on the wing. Or perhaps that's just where she found herself. Four, 2, 3, 1 for George Cross. Baranovic, the striker. Grand Ferry. Can't find Barale. And Hill's attempted clearance goes out for a throw-in, and it gives George Cross, in the meantime, quite a bit of territory. Early throw-in. Tanaka's creative header to the byline. She doesn't have anything really to cut back to. Steered away by Martinez. Yamasaki. Pressure building. Nice turn from Horvat. Watched closely and stalked by Sarah Bell. Back for Yamasaki. First time ball. Flicked on by Barale. Taylor Murphy brings everything to a halt at the byline. Ticking away every second. We're into the final quarter hour at City Vista. Ringwood City took the lead on 13 minutes through a Katrina Nickpour goal. They took that lead into half-time. George Cross equalised in the first 2 minutes of the second half. A beautiful long-range effort from Cindy Lay. And then only about 7 minutes ago, Daphne Papamichael put Ringwood City back on top. Going to have another couple of changes here for Ringwood City. We're going to see Rebecca Saber. And we will also see Sophia Apostolopoulos. So emptying the bench here, Ringwood City. Coming off, Elwyn Parbury. Georgie's making a couple of changes too. The other player for Ringwood City coming off and limping, in fact, is Izzy Cooper. Ella Fluker-Barker is coming on for the Georgies. Ariane McLeod coming off. And Tiana Bautista is the other player who has taken a spot on the pitch. The Georgies doing all they can to see if they create this one more opportunity to level the scores and at the very least get this match into extra time. Or potentially find 2 more goals and just win the damn thing. It's Fluker-Barker retreating. Another one that has started from the bench tonight but was in the starting 11 on the weekend. George Cross coaching staff rotating the squad. Fluker-Barker. Kiritoshi. Heading towards the final 10 minutes here at the City Vista. And what started as a beautiful night here out in the western suburbs of Melbourne, it's got a little cool. May have shifted into a back three by the looks of things here, George Cross. Sporanovic. So is there one moment of magic that can get her side back into this cup tie? Tanaka. Oh, and Silikides not happy with herself there. Once again, Taylor Murphy, an experienced goalkeeper, knows that any time that she can salt away will help her side's cause. Horvat with the throw in. Skies this one to the edge of the penalty area. Sabre's defensive header. McLeod. Sabre runs onto the loose football. Apostolopoulos, who's parked herself out on the right wing for Ringwood City. Selikides wins the foot race and in fact will win the throw in. A great acquisition for Ringwood City in the off-season. Rebecca Sabres actually returns to Ringwood City from Bentley. Did spend a season at Ringwood City, a couple of seasons in fact, 2021 and 2022. Gold medal winner in the NPLW, this lady here, Rebecca Sabre, in 2024, playing for Alamein. Oh, that one's taken a deflection and it sits kindly for Fernandez. Ringwood City looking to book their spot in the round of 16. It's come off the upright. Somehow defied physics in the process. George Cross bring it clear. Bautista. George Cross on the march. Tanaka and Sporanovic battling with Hill. Sporanovic takes the football. Laura Sporanovic. Her shot initially blocked. She'll get another go. Murphy parries it. Fired in. Tiana Bautista off the bench and into the headlines, and the Georgies have their second goal. And we are back level at City Vista. Taylor Murphy just not able to parry the football to safety. Great work by the youngster Tiana Bautista, who has only made one appearance for the senior side this season. Coming into tonight, she was subbed on in that win over North Geelong in the Cup in round 3. She's made a couple of appearances in the under-17s. Back and forth we go on this Wednesday night here at City Vista. Caroline Springs, George Cross 2, Ringwood City 2. 4-goal thriller. As the prospects of extra time becomes more and more likely. We only have 8 minutes of the 90 remaining. Great work in that build-up play from Emily Tanaka with the through ball, and Sporanovic, who took a couple of goes to get a shot on target that troubled the goalkeeper. And then it was a race for the loose football, won by Bautista. And Bautista's causing another problem. Hill, who wins this battle. Bell. Oh, that play, the ball didn't go out of play, I should say. Kiritoshi. Back with Paige Daly, who pleads for calm. And keep in mind that if we do go to extra time, teams are afforded the luxury of making one extra substitution. The problem for Ringwood City is they've already made their substitutions. They only come with 4 players on the bench. All of those players that started on the bench are now out there in the middle. Here's one of them, Apostolopoulos. Good work there by Selakides. Still plenty of time. Not a lot of time, but enough time, certainly for one of these teams to find what increasingly looks like would be a winner. George Cross have twice tonight fought back from a 1-goal deficit. Poor effort there, disappointing one from Apostolopoulos. They scored a lot of late goals last season, George Cross, in the State League 1 Northwest. 11 goals in the final quarter hours of matches. That was in 18 league games. Grenferry. Johns, Martinez, Apostolopoulos, whose first touch in that instance was unassured. Sabre concedes possession. Oh, nice in tight there from Tanaka, who wears one around the back of the head from Sabre. Lettieri. Pampa Michael, who might have thought that she had won the game for Ringwood City when she scored in the 69th minute. Sabre, Apostolopoulos, who's shown some good signs since coming on from the bench. Made her first appearance of the season in the seniors on the weekend, coming from the bench in that loss to Eltham. Made 6 appearances in the reserves, Sophia Apostolopoulos. Into the final 5 minutes of this back and forth Nike FC Cup match. Murphy, not much of a clearance. Eliza Johns, did ever so well to maintain possession there for Ringwood City. Agawa happy to try and build something from a throw-in. No doubt these second half substitutions for George Cross have changed the way that the match has looked and felt in the second 45, and they've shown a lot of character as well, fighting back from a 1-goal deficit. Grenferry's header flicked on by Tanaka. Sporanovic. Tidy stuff on the ball. Trying to thread it through for Bautista. Bautista nips in ahead of the fullback and expertly wins the foul. Boy, has this girl caused some problems since entering the play. As you'll see on our picture, she's only little. She is dynamite. And a set piece for George Cross. With 3.5 minutes to play in the 90. We've seen 3 goals in this second half. Is there to be any more? Christelle Grenferry comes over to take charge of this set piece. Immo Grenferry flicked on, saved by Murphy. Oh, brilliant. Point blank header, I think from Tanaka. And Taylor Murphy had to put all of her eggs in the reactionary basket there and did well to keep it out of the net. Certainly will go down as an attempt on target. Papa Michael swings it into midfield. Martinez. Nick Paul lays it off for Sarah Bell. Can't get past Madison Horvat. That part of the match where we now ponder which of the two teams is least interested in playing another half hour. Sabre out for Apostolopoulos. Papa Michael rides the challenge. Trying to find some space to shoot. It's Martinez. Her shot blocked. She's already had a couple of looks tonight from range. Now Sporanovic has got a couple to beat. The goalkeeper is off the line. Laura Sporanovic off to the races. Doubling back, trying to shape and shoot with the left. Sporanovic, pulled out of the sky by Taylor Murphy. Trying to loft the goalkeeper in the end. So we're coming back to have a look at another player here who is struggling. And players on both sides of the equation struggling with cramp. Can't say it's been the most physical match, but certainly it's been very open. A lot of plays up and back. So a lot of those sort of short sprints and repeat efforts. And Barale goes down with cramp. As we meander our way towards the 90, we're in the final minute. Our referee Bavush just counting in his head, making sure that we don't lose any time. Madison Horvat is playing role of first aid here. Gives us all an opportunity to just stop and ponder where this game is headed. A goal in the 13th minute for Katrina Nickpaw gave Ringwood City the lead. Cindy Lay for George Cross scored a beauty. Long-range effort. 90 seconds after kickoff to start the second half to draw George Cross level. Daphne Papamichael gave Ringwood City the lead again in the 69th minute. And then 11 minutes later, second half substitute, Tiana Bautista with a toe poke into the net to get George Cross back level. Barale is coming from the pitch, and she has removed the captain's armband. Just come off to receive a little bit of treatment, so down to 10 just at the moment. George Cross. It's Fluka Barker trying to barge her way through. Lettieri. Apostolopoulos. Barale back out amongst it now. Lettieri's pass a little bit too sharp. Agawa. Kiritoshi. Horvat. Bautista makes the run. Horvat finds her. Bautista to the edge of the 18-yard box. It's played well enough. Well enough by Serena Hill. Two of the young stars for either side. Sporanovic. Twisting, turning, Bautista, her cross deflected. Awkwardly cleared, in fact not really cleared. Tanaka, they're crying for a handball. The George Cross crew down below us. Waved away emphatically. We are into second half stoppage time. Baranovic, can she send George Cross into the round of 16 again? Can't get it over the keeper. And Taylor Murphy, her height working to her advantage again. Martinez, once again, not really happy with her effort there. And that is the end of the regulation 90, and we will require an extra half an hour of football to decide which one of these teams will seal their passage through to the fifth round, the round of 16 in the Nike FC Cup. At the end of the 90, Caroline Springs George Cross 2, Ringwood City 2, as the players come to the benches for an impromptu timeout of sorts. The captains will come back to the middle. We've got the Ringwood City manager, Morgan Groves, just double-checking what the protocols are here. So a quick little chance for the managers to have a chat to their troops. The captains will come back out into the middle. They'll do the coin toss again. And we're going to have 30 more minutes of football. We might step aside as well, and we'll come back in just a moment for the extra time period here in this Nike FC Cup Round 4 match between Caroline Springs, George Cross and Ringwood City at the end of 90 minutes. It is George Cross 2, Ringwood City 2. Welcome back, folks, to the City Vista here in Fraser Rise and Caroline Springs. We are playing extra time football on this chilly Wednesday night. State League 1 Northwest side, Caroline Springs, George Cross and Ringwood City from the Victorian Premier League Women's have ground one another to a 2-2 draw through 90 minutes. So another 30 required. Away we go. George Cross in the red and white stripes, for those of you that might be joining us late. Ringwood City in their blue shirts this evening. They did actually, if you weren't here at the beginning of the match, we were discussing this, they brought their orange kits out to the western suburbs this evening. They were quickly told, you're not going to be able to wear them. It'll cause all sorts of confusion. And George Cross have fought their way back from a 1-goal deficit twice tonight. Twice Ringwood City have taken the lead. First through Katrina Nickpour and then through Daphne Papamichael. An equalizer scored by Cindy Lay, who has since been substituted out of the match, and Tiana Bautista. So this first period of 15 minutes. Of course, it is regulation extra time, so no golden goal, no silver goal for those who might remember that particular method of deciding a winner. Daphne Papamichael runs away after being fouled. Keeping in mind as well that Ringwood City don't have any further substitutes to make. They've got one player out there on a yellow card. That's Melanie Martinez, the only player to tell you about who is walking the tightrope. Tanaka unable to keep that ball alive. A game of two halves, truly. Ringwood City looking the better team in the first half, certainly more comfortable in possession. A couple of substitutions made by George Cross early in the second half certainly changed things. It's Nick Poor, who has had two of the best opportunities of the match, scored the first goal, and then not that long later rattled the frame of the goal. Haven't had a lot of close opportunities or clear-cut opportunities, Ringwood City, outside of their two goals, and then that rattling of the frame of the goal in the first half from Nick Poor. Olivia Barale looks like she's recovered from that knock that she took late in the 90. Here's Spranovic on the turn. Granferry, Tanaka, one of the players who has been substituted into the match. Selakides deflects off the back of Papamichael. Selakides. McGower and Granferry back to Selakides, whose touch, or pass I should say, was a poor one. Papamichael on the end of a delightful pass from Apostolopoulos. Just moving the ball incrementally down this near side by way of throw-ins, Ringwood City. It's been a rather tame beginning to this extra time period. Lettieri Apostolopoulos. Got an issue here potentially with Nick Poor, who has stayed down. Sabre wins it back in midfield for Ringwood City. Misses Lettieri. Kiritoshi clears it back towards midfield. And Nick Poor's still down here on her haunches. Eventually she's back up and running. Raleigh on the turn. Timely interjection there from Sarah Bell. Fernandez. Martinez had her shirt pulled, yes, right under the watchful eye of the referee. What now becomes which of these two sides are really keen on winning this match and not too concerned about making a mistake to go and win it. You imagine extra time periods, they're often very cagey. There might only be one opportunity either way. Apostolopoulos sends Papa Michael on her way. Fluka Barker works the angles, plays it well. Combining with Kiritoshi. Fluka Barker, 22-year-old. She was another one playing for Bundoora in the VPLW last season. Scored a lot of goals playing in the reserves for Bundoora. 22 goals in 21 appearances. Oh, Sabre, that was nice. And out into a little bit of space. Poor releases Fernandez. Goalkeeper has to come. Was there contact there? There was not. Fernandez has gone down. Not for the first time in this match. The Page Daly just getting there. In the eyes of the referee, a step ahead of the Ringwood City flying winger. And perhaps this is just cramp rather than a contact injury. That was one of the best looking Ringwood City attacks, however, for quite a while. That looked like the Ringwood City of the first half. Able to just prod a little pass in between the George Cross defenders and get some speed down the wing. Didn't see a lot of it in the second 45. Lost a lot of time already in this first period of extra time. Once again, Izzy Fernandez has to leave the pitch, but she's okay. She's immediately back into the action. She's been one of the most threatening players on the pitch tonight, Fernandez, without having scored. Spranovic, again with her back to goal. Go up. Oh, nice touch there from Horvat. Ball deflects awkwardly. Sabre clears only as far as Horvat. Now Barale, the skipper for George Cross, just bumped as she was trying to angle her pass to her teammates. Not been the easiest of nights for the captain in midfield for the Georgies. She's had a few errors. It's been a night of frustrations. But it can still be her night. It can still be her side's night. Spranovic. The ever-threatening. Turning inside, doubling back, trying to force the ball through the blue shirts. Sabre with all of that experience. Does well to diffuse the situation, and it's a throw in. A match that kicked off at 7:30, and it will go at least 120 minutes. It's going to be a long, late drive home, and a quiet one for Ringwood City if they can't find a way to get home in this cup match. George Cross get up, they'll be partying at the City Vista all night. Chakasiki tomorrow. George Cross draw a foul here, and an opportunity perhaps for a set piece. They've also used all of their substitutes. George Cross, the only player that they haven't brought on is the reserve goalkeeper. So these are the 22 players that will take us to the finish. And maybe all the way to spot kicks. The prospect of the spot kicks only 20 minutes away now. George Cross with a set piece. In towards Sporanovic, it gets past her and it comes off Eliza Johns and out for a corner kick. In fact, well, it looked like it came off Eliza Johns, but the official in the middle has overruled, called for a goal kick. Our referee Bavushi a lot closer than we are. At Ringwood City. Oh, Johns off the dangerous Bautista. The electric one. And Papa Michael's errant touch. As temperatures rise and drop all at the same time. Building pressure here. George Cross have got a throw in adjacent to the penalty area. Just got to wait for Bautista to tie her bootlace up. Throw in. Header from Barale. And that was definitely last touched off the defender there, Rebecca Saber. And so they will get their corner kick, George Cross. How many troops do they send forward? Not too many. 5 players in the 18-yard box. They're still concerned about the threat that Ringwood City pose on a potential counter-attack. So plenty of George Cross players staying out of this one. In fact, it's only 4 players inside the area. Bautista lurks on the edge of the box. And it's a disappointing set piece in any case. Harmlessly into the side netting. Kiritoshi might have done better. Nike FC Cup action, round 4. George Cross and Ringwood City, look out, Murphy was able to scuff it away, and Fernandez, who somehow inexplicably is in space. Oh, that one's come off the back of the head there of Bautista. It looked like she might have been a little bit stunned by it initially. One of 10 matches in the Nike FC Cup this evening. Not entirely sure what's going on around the grounds, but I can tell you here, it looks like we are going to go into the second period of extra time. Locked at 2-2. Lettieri intercepting. And Saber. Early release. Papa Michael. Can't get control of it. And away by Agawa. The final stages of the first period of extra time. Johns. Grenfell brings it down. Silikides, well done there by Papa Michael, who nutmegs Grenfell across the 18-yard box. Fernandez unable to find Nick Paul. They appreciate the endeavours from one another, and it is half-time of extra time. A cagey, very cagey first 15 minutes. And no real goalmouth action to speak of. The players will come over to get one last drink. These will be the last real instructions that they will be able to get from the managers before we venture into the second period of 15 minutes. Next time they speak to the coaches, they may be preparing for a penalty shootout. Still, it's Caroline Springs, George Cross 2, Ringwood City 2. Brent Sternberg here with you on the Football Victoria YouTube channel with our cameraman Julian. We'll take another quick breather and we'll come back for the second period of extra time here at City Vista. Local time here in Caroline Springs, and still it's George Cross and Ringwood City locked at 2-2. Getting set for the second half of extra time here. 15 minutes remain for one of these teams to try and get the job done and not leave it in the lap of the football gods and the dreaded penalty shootout. We love it as football fans. Players, I'm sure, don't enjoy putting themselves through the trials and tribulations of sudden death spot kicks. There are going to be some players tiring out there now. Haven't had any substitutions made for a while because there are none left. So there are some players that have, a lot of players that have played the entire match. Will we have that one opportunity? Do we have someone out there brave enough and fit enough and with enough juice to create a match-winning chance? Apostolopoulos lofting it forward. Izzy Fernandez is there. The goalkeeper can't make a play at it. Fernandez also can't make a play at it. It's deflected off the back of the goalkeeper. A little bit of serendipity there for George Cross. Izzy Fernandez just unable to get the ball onto her left boot, and in the end she ended up poking it with the outside of the right boot across the 6-yard box. And the biggest concern there was the attempted clearance that was deflected off the goalkeeper. Certainly not a clear-cut chance. Pavushi's coming over, our referee, to have a chat with the Georgies coaches, just telling them to please don't encroach. Getting a little bit beyond the technical area. Horvat and Bell and the nutmeg and Sporanovic, who will have to go herself a while. Bautista makes a run into the box. Horvat's cross goes in that direction. Hill didn't know much about the header. Sabre and Hill, and the clearance stay in play. Oh, very well done there from Bell. Oh, Katrina Nickpour, who started this match like a house on fire. Just a couple of errant touches, and we've got another yellow card coming here. This is not going to... It's not going to any of the players. I believe it's going to, despite the protests from Olivia Barale, I think this is going to one of the George Cross officials. Okay, not entirely sure who picked up that yellow card, but in any case, we're back underway. Tanaka flicks it on. Sporanovic unable to win this duel. Another attempted clearance deflects off a teammate, Apostolopoulos. Misses Papamichael. Ogawa. Well done by Apostolopoulos to see it back to Johns. Bautista keeps on buzzing around. Martinez. And they've been able to play their way out of trouble. Apostolopoulos long ball forward. Nickpour is there. And Fluka Barker. Who's got to keep her head here. She did well enough to throw in for Ringwood City. 109 minutes have ticked away at the City Vista. And what was a very... not very, but a rather open, attacking and enjoyable 90 minutes has shriveled up and become incredibly cagey and tense, as you might expect in the extra time period as that ball is onto the roof of the pavilion. A relatively open 90 minutes where we did have 4 goals, but outside of the goals, not a lot of goal-mouth action or midfield. Martinez goes spiralling to the ground. And might have been Kiritoshi as well, I think, in there, who has been floored. No, it's Olivia Barale. Help to her feet. Any set piece that is earned from here on out will be like gold. The best opportunity to try and create a chance at goal. Do we have a direct shot coming here? We do from Nickpour. And Paige Daly watches that one. And she does watch. Doesn't even make her way over to the ball until it's out of play. A penny for the thoughts of the 2 goalkeepers. So much rests on their shoulders in penalty shootouts. Bell unable to make a play on that ball. Murphy backpedaling into the 18-yard box, and she's going to be in no hurry. No hurry whatsoever, and the Georgies players share that sentiment. We're not just going to do this for the next 10 minutes, are we? Somebody eventually will have to get the game rolling. Johns. Apostolopoulos. Papamichael. Creating a ball forward. Lettieri being shielded legally by Ogawa. A foul going the other way. Interesting how in certain moments in football matches time seems to tick away so slowly. That certainly feels the case in extra time. Martinez taken away by Barale. Lettieri, was she fouled? Yes. Just when George Cross thought that they were off and running in the other direction. Nick Poor, early release. It's going to get away from Fernandez. Have to be one of the quickest players on the pitch, Izzy Fernandez. She has chased everything with full endeavour tonight. Has been in the wars at times. Saber putting her body on the line. Martinez. The stretching Granferry. Horvat. Bautista, look out. Or was she clipped? She was by Hill. And it's going to be another yellow card for Serena Hill, who has fled the scene quickly. I think she knows. So the young defender for Ringwood City into the book. That's their first booking of the match, Ringwood City. Excuse me, that is their second. Melanie Martinez also in the book. Sporanovic trying to bring it down. Horvat. Nice first touch to take herself away from goal initially. Stood up by Bell. Lettieri comes in to try and finish the job for Ringwood City. And does well. Where is this opportunity coming from, if there is to be one? Kiritoshi back for Flukabaka. And now Agawa. Of course, George Cross, in their women's history, they've played in one penalty shootout. That was in the Steph Catley Plate last year. The hero in the shootout on that occasion was Katrina Selakides, who scored the winning penalty to take George Cross to their first major silverware, for the women's side, of course. Bautista. Ringwood City, by my calculations, have never experienced a penalty shootout. They might be only 5 minutes away. Barale. Trying to retreat. She's gone down again, the George Cross skipper. Her teammates play on without her for the time being. Horvat runs into Hill, who of course is walking the tightrope now on the yellow card. Ball comes back in the direction of Barale. I was going to say we continue. The ball is now out of play. Players going down all over the place. It's Eliza Johns as well, I think, who is dealing with cramp just in the back play here. Every player on the pitch becoming a de facto physio. During the stoppage, players still coming over for hydration and instructions. Well, they might have come here tonight, these two teams, with the long-term plan and what they would do if they were in this situation, and certainly the order of penalty kick takers should they get there. We are getting very close to that becoming reality. If we are to have a goal now, it would surely be the winner, Horvat, who has been terrific, I must say, since coming on. We're stuck in the corner here. Last touch off the defender. Corner kick. Central referee not overruling this time, so George Cross with a set piece opportunity. The minutes and seconds tick away. George Cross, who have not led tonight, had to fight from behind, scrap and claw. Ogawa, Horvat, lofting it in, can't get past the first defender. Oh, and then Horvat, that's a disappointing foul to give away, just clattered into Sarah Bell, I think that was. Looks like Sarah is okay, despite the fact that she's come away with a limp. In fact, it was Izzy Fernandez, rather, who was flattened by Madison Horvat. This is Sarah Bell. Barale and Martinez. Martinez wins for Ringwood City. The possession. Kiritoshi. Daly, Paige Daly, who did make a couple of saves in that penalty shootout in the Steph Catley plate last year. Sporanovic on the turn, dissects the two defenders. Horvat trying to get away from Fernandez. Horvat's cross. Well, cut out by Eliza Johns. She's unable to keep the ball alive and avoid the corner kick, however. And so in the final minutes of extra time, George Cross with a corner kick. And George Cross find a hero. Brale, corner kick taker into the dangerous area, bounces through the whole pack. And Bautista retrieves it. Long range efforts. Captured by Taylor Murphy. Is there any urgency at all here for Ringwood City? Murphy thumps it forward. Back for Eliza Johns. Papa Michael. Nagawa just plays it carefully out of touch. How much time added on do we have, if any? We've played 2 hours of football here at the City Vista. This Nike FC Round 4 Cup Clash. Throw in for Ringwood City. Have they got to move here from the training pitch that they've been working on via a throw in? Nick Paw, Hill, Maddie Horvat intervening again, and we will go to penalties. The cagiest of extra time periods. Two teams that were maybe a little bit too concerned about losing the match to go on and win it, and now they must walk the plank together. At the end of 120 minutes of football here at the City Vista, Caroline Springs, George Cross 2, Ringwood City 2. And we're going to have a penalty shootout on this frosty Wednesday night at the City Vista in Caroline Springs. And this is when the goalkeepers will be maybe pulling out their instructions from their shin pads or notes, sticky tape to the drink bottles, all the shenanigans that penalty shootouts entail. The two managers going around and finding, all right, who's got the courage? Who's going first? Who's going second? So we've got Agawa really struggling with some sort of a cramp, so maybe she's a conscientious objector from the penalty shootout. Once again, the captains will come to the middle to decide which end of the ground the shootout will take place and in what order we will go. So this will be, as I mentioned, Ringwood City's first penalty shootout that the women's side have encountered. It's the second shootout that the Georgies have had to endure, although they do have a winning record, technically. One penalty shootout in the Steph Catley Plate final last year. I'll just remind you how the match played out. Ringwood City, who led for so much of the night, they opened the scoring through Katrina Nickpour on 13 minutes. They led 1-0 at half-time. Cindy Lay with the equaliser only 2 minutes after the resumption of the second half. Daphne Papamichael scored in the 69th minute to put Ringwood City back on top, and then second half substitute Tiana Bautista scored 10 minutes from the 90 to level things at 2-2. 30 minutes of extra time football came and went without anything really to tell. And so a penalty shootout in the fourth round of the Nike FC Cup. Remember, George Cross are looking to try and obviously stay alive in this competition and go as far as they can, and also defend their Steph Catley Plate, which they would love to do. Of course, if they wind up back in the final, it will mean that they've gone very deep once again in the cup competition. They'd love to be in the final of the Nike FC Cup, of course. They want to be playing on that day at the home of the Matildas in the big one. So it looks like the penalty shootout is going to take place at the right of screen. Referee asking the players to make their way over to the halfway line, and let's get this show on the road. Well, it's time for players with nerves of steel to step up here. Caroline Springs, George Cross from the State League 1 Northwest, and Ringwood City from the Victorian Premier League Women's, taking one another all the way to a penalty shootout. There'll be an embrace here between the two goalkeepers. May the best team win. Of course, there's a lot of luck needed to win a penalty shootout. George Cross are going to get things off and running with Emily Tanaka, who come off the bench in the second half. She wasn't in the squad on the weekend. First one up to the plate is the George Cross Japanese winger, Emily Tanaka. Spot kick number 1. It's well taken. Sends the goalkeeper the wrong way. And that's all you want to do with the first spot kick, is see it into the back of the net. And Katrina Nickpour is the first Ringwood City player to step up to the spot opened the scoring after 13 minutes. Only about 15 minutes later, had a long-range effort that rattled the crossbar. On another night, she might have had a brace. On another night, she might have wrapped it up already for Ringwood City. Ringwood's MVP last season. Same results, sending the goalkeeper the wrong way. And two pretty calmly taken and decisive penalties to get things going in the shootout. And the next player up to the spot for George Cross. It's Katrina Silikidis. So this is the young lady who scored the winning penalty in the Steph Catley Plate final last year. Silikidis took the 5th and deciding spot kick. She's second to the plate tonight. Katrina Silikidis for George Cross. Oh, it took a piece of the glove of Taylor Murphy, but it's in. And Katrina Silikidis leaping, jumping for joy as she heads back to the halfway line. Next up for Ringwood City is Daphne Papamichael, who was involved in both of Ringwood City's goals in the 90. Of course, scored the second. It was Daphne who assisted the first goal for Katrina Nickport. As the pressure and the tension builds. Papamichael. Oh, carbon copy again. Goalkeeper guessing the right way, but unable to stop it from going into the back of the net. And it's 2-2. And here comes Mayo Kiritoshi, the defender for George Cross. Joined the Georgies, as I mentioned, from Keilor Park, and prior to that was playing in her native Japan. And how often do we see teams send their defenders up in penalty shootouts? Mayo Kiritoshi denied by the goalkeeper. Oh, now waits. Goalkeeper came off the line. We will have a mulligan. Wow. Our linesman Millet saying that Taylor Murphy came forward off the goal line. And so now the mind games as Kiritoshi will take 2. Straight up the middle. And Mayo Kiritoshi makes the most of her second chance. Isabella Fernandez, the next one, to try her luck from 12 yards for Ringwood City. As I mentioned, was dynamic and at times this evening electric. Really gave the fullbacks all they could handle. Isabella Fernandez on the run-up and pierces it right down the middle, past Paige Daly and into the net. And the tension grows and grows as both sides have put away their first 3 penalty attempts. Next one up for George Cross is Christelle Grandferry. Pulled the strings in midfield tonight. First-year player at George Cross from France. To put the pressure on Ringwood City. Oh, well taken. How cool and how calm was that? Up into the roof of the net. No goalkeeper in the world is stopping that. Next one up is Melanie Martinez for Ringwood. Trying to keep herself loose. Has to score this penalty or George Cross will have the opportunity to win the match with their next spot kick. Midfielder Melanie Martinez steps up to the plate. And another well-taken penalty. The goalkeepers are getting pretty close to some of these kicks. That one up into the roof of the net also. So here comes the captain, Olivia Barale. Had an interesting night at the office tonight. Ended up on the deck a few times. We get to the business end of this shootout. This is the 5th penalty take out for George Cross. The captain, Olivia Barale. City Vista holds its breath. Sneaks it underneath the sprawling Taylor Murphy. It's 5 from 5 for George Cross. And Ringwood City must score this penalty or they are out of the Nike FC Cup. Their second half substitute, the youngster Sarah Bell. The next one to face the music. Sarah must score this penalty or George Cross are through to the 5th round. Sarah Bell has skied it! And Caroline Springs George Cross from State League 1 Northwest are into the round of 16 of the Nike FC Cup. And the Georgies jump for joy. They did not lead at all in the match. Twice they had to come from behind. Twice they did. They navigated a tense and tight extra time period. And then a penalty shootout where there were some smashing penalties. Sarah Bell is the one who will feel sickest of them all as we head from City Vista tonight, skying that last penalty over the crossbar. Ringwood City's Cup campaign comes to an end in the 4th round, just as it did last season. And Caroline Springs George Cross, who survive and thrive in the penalty shootouts, will be one of the last 16 teams remaining in the Nike FC Cup this year. And they kick off the celebrations in style. They'll be back up on the weekend. The Georgies, they've got a trip down the highway to face the North Geelong Warriors, a team who they've already beaten this season in the Cup. And Ringwood City now for the rest of 2026 will have just the league campaign to concern themselves with. They will be at home at Jubilee Park on Monday night to take on Brunswick Juventus. A very entertaining night of Cup football here at City Vista. We went the distance all the way to the penalty shootouts where Caroline Springs George Cross emerge victorious 5-4. For me, Brent Sternberg, and our cameraman Julian, hope you enjoyed the coverage on the Football Victoria YouTube page, everybody. And don't forget, we've got more matches in the Cup coming up next week as well. Stay tuned for more information on those fixtures. For here tonight, Caroline Springs George Cross are in to the 5th round of the Nike FC Cup. It's good night from the City Vista here in Caroline Springs.